I clean for England. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's been one hell of a week. I clean for the English department. There's 6 rooms, rooms 19 through to 23. And they, the English team, would say that they had a creative look about them. Well, they would, wouldn't they? I mean, them being creative types. I'd be more inclined to say they were a bit disorganised. But what do I know, eh? I'm not one for storytelling. Jenny is. Jenny loves stories. She's in year 8 and she says that English is her favourite lesson. She likes to help me out. And I don't mind, because she doesn't get in the way. And I never let her go anywhere near the teacher's desk, because that would be unprofessional. Although she does know her way around Miss Jackson's class, on account of Miss Jackson being her teacher this year. Jenny, she likes to organise. So I let her stack the books. And she gathers together all those slips of paper that get given out by the supply teacher, and they get left all over the place because, well, according to Jenny, the kids know they're not going to get marked anyway. Once, last term, there was this poster display for the Tempest for year 9. It got destroyed by someone being, well, someone being tempestuous. Jenny did such a clean-up job on it that you never knew that it had been spoiled. So I bought her a couple of bars of chocolate to say thank you. God, she's this stick of a girl. So I don't think a bar of chocolate was needed as much as a good home-cooked dinner. Anyway, she was made up. We've got this system going of late. We stack books. We identify problem areas. And clean. When we're in Miss Jackson's class, Jenny likes to take care of her own desk. It's at the back, to the right. Ah, it's almost hidden behind a bookshelf. Mr. Fairhurst's office. It's the best of the lot. Well, his deputy head, you wouldn't expect anything else, would you? The kids give him a wide berth. Strict. He's in there sometimes when I go in, so I'll make myself as inconspicuous as possible. And I leave stacking the chairs till he's gone, because according to Mr. Fairhurst, stacking chairs it's a rather noisy activity, and one that interferes with the creative thought process. He was sat there, so still one day, with his head in his hands and such a pained expression on his face. I offered him a migraine tablet. He declined. He said, "Oh no, I'm just thinking." Well, I don't want to be thinking like that anytime soon. Thank you very much. When I was a child, I used to think that I'd be a teacher. I loved geography. I would look at the maps of the world for hours, going through books, tucked behind our sofa, quite the Marco Polo. I would imagine that I was travelling to all the places that we were studying in class. Taking tea in Darjeeling. That's in India, near the Himalayas. Wondering along the Great Wall of China, possibly with a communist comrade by my side, exploring all those wonderful places. Teacher came round to our house when I left school. She wondered if I wanted to continue my education to a higher level at the girls' college. Apparently, the school had recognised that I had untapped potential. Well, my dad was firm. Oh, no, there'll be none of that going on. There's enough to be getting on with her own, thank you very much. Any talk of untapping can wait till I have a full-time job and a wage coming in. Well, when you're young, you just accept everything, don't you? What your dad says goes. I started cleaning for this married couple who lived in Rossley. I cleaned for them for about 4 years. Cleaning rooms, doing the laundry, mending. Oh, God, and dusting. They had that many ornaments. She used to get them out of a magazine, had quite the collection going on. She used to give them to me. Oh, the magazines, not the ornaments, no. She used to call them her aspirational magazines. Aspirational. She gave them to me. She thought that I might like them. Didn't like them. I didn't like them one bit. Well, my life I saw in those pages. Jenny's late today. Unusual for her. No, she doesn't get detention. She's not like that noisy lot that come for roaring down the corridor. I'd say she was more of a quiet learner. You know, the ones that get their head down. Just get on with it. She comes here on her own. She says that my mum don't get home till 6 o'clock and I haven't got a key anymore because I lost one. I'd only be sat out in the cold. Anyway, she's late today. And when she does arrive, oh God, she looks under the weather. In need of some TLC. Well, she shuts that door with such a slam and then takes herself off to the radiator. I start tackling a piece of graffiti. That's written on the 3rd row. Oh, it's been done in green magic marker. That's going to take some shifting. She takes herself off towards the bookcase. A bit later on, she comes over and she starts telling me this story. It's about this man and this dad, and they're having terrible arguments, and the child in the story has taken to hiding under the stairs because it's scared. Bad things are said, and it's horrible! Reading between the lines, I think the woman in the story was getting a bit of a beating. But whatever book she was reading had left an impression on her. I wasn't sure of its suitability for her age. I said, oh, Jenny, what kind of a story is that? She said, quite, it's my story. I said, you want love? She said, it's my story, Jill. I didn't know what to say. She was just standing there, all alone. So sad. So I just gave her a hug. My family were not much for hugging. They weren't the touchy-feely kind. But sometimes a child just needs a hug. I didn't see Miss Jackson come in, but Jenny did, and she got off swift when Miss said, what's going on in here? I just started tapping a piece of graffiti that said, this is shit. And I thought about Jenny going home and sitting under the stairs. And I thought, yeah, it is shit. So I scrubbed and scrubbed. As if rubbing harder would make all the shit in Jenny's life go away. When Mr. Bearers came in, I put our start back in the chairs, and then I remembered, oh bloody hell, it's parents' evening. I better leave them out. And that's when I saw Miss Jackson standing behind him. He came over and he said, can you sit in that chair, please, Val? In a tone that's normally reserved for his pupils. He sat down. He wanted to know why Jennifer Lester was in this room after school. Were we related? I said, Jenny, me? No. He said that I should be made aware that there are codes of conduct to protect both the pupils and the staff of this school. I said, hey, hang on a minute. I never let her do anything dangerous, and she never went anywhere near the teachers' desks. He said, how long has this been going on? I said, since September, but I don't mind. She was a bit of company. Well, it looked like he was having one of his migraine attacks. And then Miss Jackson steps in. Apparently she'd gone after Jennifer in the corridor and asked her, had I ever touched her before? Now, Jenny had said no, but that I'd given her some nice things. Well, I could see what direction this conversation was going. So I told them, you know, about Jenny and what she said was going on at home. And Mr. Bearhurst said something about boundaries being blurred, but by then I wasn't listening because I was getting angry, because I said, what are you going to do about what's going on with Jenny at home? And he said, well, maybe you should write it down. I went, you're the fucking English teacher! You write it down! I went home that night and I sat in my cupboard under the stairs, staring at the multi-cleaner. It's not in my nature to swear. Next day, when I go in school, but I have a word with Marion. She's in charge. I said, can you put me somewhere else? I just need a bit of a breather. So she said, well, you can go in the science block. That's rooms 58 to 65 with Jackie. Well, Jackie does more talking than she does cleaning, apparently. But she can make her way around that periodic table like Einstein. Arrive at the labs and just, I don't know what to make of it all. Bunsen burners are not my thing. But I give them a good polish. Hey. And I make them shine. And Jackie says, here, don't bother. When I come back later that afternoon, I can see on the roster that I'm in there permanently. And there's a note to say that I've got to go and see Mrs. Phillips. She's the head of school. I can hear Mrs. Phillips talking in her office when I arrive. So I sit down on a bench. It's normally reserved for students who have told the teacher where to get off. There's one here already, waiting. Big lad. First impressions are not great. His uniform's mucky. He's got a bit grubby around the collar. And there's a stain on his blazer, you know, that kind of thing. And it's been writing on the back of his hand in green magic marker. He's got that hair. You know, that goes all over the faces like they wear these days. I think he's hiding a bit of acne. He sees me staring at him and he flicks his hair back. His skin's fine. He fixes me with a grin. And eyes full of life. And he starts up, hey, what have you done wrong? Why are you in trouble? I want to say I've never been in trouble at school in my life. I could have gone to college had they let me have my aspirations. And then I can hear another voice in the office. Mr. Ferris. Mrs. Phillips comes to the door and she says, come in. So I stand up. And the lad gives me a good look. And she darts in with a look, so I don't say thank you. I'm Mrs. Phillips' office. It's lovely. She's clearly an organised lady, and it's reflected in her workstation. Everything has a place, and everything in its place. She cares, she tells me, she cares deeply about the pupils and the staff at this school, and that she'd spoken to Marion. And Marion had said that I was a very, very good, caring member of the cleaning team. About yesterday. Mr. Fairhurst had spoken to Jennifer Lester's mother at parents' evening, and that she wasn't going to take the matter any further. I said, I'm not. Did you ask Jenny about what was going on at home? She said, we're rather more concerned about what's going on at school. And yes, Jennifer has been asked, and she said everything was fine. Mrs. Phillips takes a deep breath. Mrs. Jennifer's mother is not going to take the matter any further, as long as I'm more closely supervised at school. And from now on I've got to work in a team. I'm in the science block with Jackie. She then says that Jennifer has been told not to speak to me anymore, and that I'm not to communicate with Jennifer. And I'm to go straight to Mrs. Phillips' office if Jenny becomes a problem, so to speak. Mr. Fairhurst said, Jennifer Lester. Jennifer Lester has a very vivid imagination. And now they're staring at me, as if they want me to say something, but I don't. As if they want me to tell them my story. But I don't tell stories. I did want to say that Jennifer was never, ever a problem. That's not what they want to hear. They just want me to clean. They just want me to clean all this shit away. I clean for science now.